My name is Tony Caggiano, Senior Sales Architect for BrandMaker. Today, we are going to walk through a high-level overview of the BrandMaker solution and how it can help your potential customers. BrandMaker provides a 360-degree view framework with solutions that are designed to work in harmony with each other and integrate with applications needed in the MarTech stack. Whether used individually or combined, they deliver a solution to solve even the most challenging marketing issues marketers face today. All of the modules are encompassed by our performance measurement and optimization level, which is our reporting system, as well as our fusion level, which allows us to integrate with hundreds of other applications such as CRM and financial systems. Let's look at each of these solutions and see how they would be used by the organization. This will showcase the many features and use cases that has helped to make BrandMaker one of the top MarTech software products in the industry. The first solution in our stack is campaign planning, where we give the user full visibility and control and allows teams to plan, manage, and optimize campaigns across the entire organization. When we log in, we are greeted with a BrandMaker dashboard. This one is configured as a homepage for our fictitious company, Acme Sports. We will be showcasing Acme during our demo today. The dashboard can be customized for each customer to fit the needs of their users. It allows for quick access to needed information, tasks, and links to specific parts of the system. Let's see how we create a campaign. When creating a campaign, it needs to have a job name and a job type. This is a campaign, so this will be a campaign job type. Once a job is created, we will see all the current jobs and their current statuses. We can view them in the list view, Gantt view, or our Trello-like board, where we can easily drag and drop jobs to the different stages in the workflow as needed. We're going to look at an existing campaign awareness endeavor and show you how this campaign was created. When we dive into the job, we can see this is where all the details or metadata is stored for each job or campaign. The Basics tab is where we can put in a description of the campaign, start and end dates, and any necessary deadlines. This campaign also tracks estimated time to complete and actual time spent, along with the region and country, which will be used to help sort and assign to the proper teams. There are several other tabs here where we can gather metadata that we call dimensions. Dimensions are detailed metadata specific to the company's initiatives. This is how we can further organize and report on different campaigns using the details assigned to each one. This campaign is going to be used for print and social media. So here in the Channels and Details tab, we have all the relevant information listed to choose from. Note that only relevant data is shown. If I remove social media as an option, the list of social media choices is removed. Only when it is relevant to the job is it visible to streamline the input process and make it more efficient. In the Communication tab, we can track target audiences as well as content alignment to know what type of content works best for the type of campaign. Is it more emotional or rational? Is it very detailed or more of a broad scope? This can be very helpful to plan future campaigns and align them to the type of campaign that works the best. So once you have all the information in the job, you can click here to go right into the calendar and see the newly created campaign along with all the other initiatives already scheduled. This structure in BrandMaker is freely definable for each business. So with Acme Sports being a global organization, we have things structured at a high level by regions. As we dive a little deeper and expand within the hierarchy of this organization, we can start to see the different initiatives appear on the right for the different regions and countries in the organization. Here we see our in and out of market dates for different campaigns and activities. If we drill down a little bit further into Americas, now we're looking at countries. And if we go underneath the USA, we can now see different events and campaigns being run in the US market. And if we dive even deeper, we can see different channels and activities. The nice thing about this is that it's fully configurable for the needs of the client. So if they want to have different business units represented in the structure, maybe different products or services, that can all easily be done. Each region's plan can have access control and permissions for who can add and adjust campaigns as well. Essentially, read and write activities for their global teams. They may not want regions to have write access to the corporate level, but still see the other areas of the plan while maintaining the ability to make edits to their own region. If they really wanted to, they can hide the data to prevent users from even seeing what's going on in other regions. So there is full control over what users see and how they're able to access this information. On the right, within the calendar view, you can see all the different campaigns and activities. These are color-coded based upon up to 30 customer definable categories. If I mouse over any timeline, I can easily see the associated dates and the type of each marketing activity. This is a huge benefit for those on the creative side where campaigns are currently managed in Excel. One of the problems marketers face is having to manually update information without seeing the actual related content. Using spreadsheets doesn't make it easy to manage this, and the potential for error is very high. We solve for this with a feature called content enrichment. This allows users to see a visual of each campaign just by mousing over the timelines. They can now see what video, images, or documents are associated with each campaign, even get basic details and briefs. As an example, we see a link to the website associated to this global initiative. We can also add pictures, videos, websites, reports, and more. There's a lot of possibilities when using content enrichment. Essentially, anything that can be accessed via a web link can be added here. We saw how to put data into a job in the beginning, but what if we need to see this again or add more data? We can easily get all this information by double-clicking any of these initiatives. Here we see the name, timeline information, and the content enrichment fields. On the left, we have all the general information that was added when the job was created, the dimensions metadata, and even a KPI tab where you can set up and track KPIs. All of this data is very useful. It can be used to easily sort our views and break free from this defined basic organization structure. If we open this up, you can see other predefined views that have been created across the organization. If we choose target groups, for example, we can now see all the different target groups for each region. Target groups for kids, target groups for men, and all the initiatives that are under each one. But if we wanted to drill down even further and we want to sort by not just the target group, but also channels, now we can see our target groups are broken down so that they show each of the channels associated with each of the target groups. These are all freely definable by the customer, so they can filter on data that is relevant to just their needs. There are many other ways users can customize this view as well. By right-clicking on any of the nodes, we can see all the options to adjust each one according to their needs. They can rename a node, add symbols and markers, and even reorganize and add new levels. So now that we have seen the campaign planning calendar, let's look at how to track the budget. The second solution BrandMaker offers is finance and budget management. This allows users to plan, control, and optimize budget objectives, saving time and money while improving efficiency. We have seen the calendar side of BrandMaker. Now let's look at how we correlate the budgeting. You can easily switch to the budget view, and what's nice about this is that it aligns with the structure to make tracking marketing spend across months, quarters, even years very easy. The budget view is nicely laid out in an easy-to-read format. You can even create different custom views to see things like forecasts, target versus planned spend, or even just a basic view of all your budgeting for the entire organization. This is where the magic happens for those customers currently relying on Excel spreadsheets. All the calculations are done automatically, with no management of formulas required. As we look over at the shared structure on the left and show all of Acme Sports, we have a planned budget for the entire year of just over $1.8 million. Below this, you will see the total spend allocated for each region, and each of these will nicely roll up and automatically calculate to this total for the entire organization. Similarly, if we look at just the Americas region, we can see the total target. Each of the countries in this region, USA, Mexico, Brazil, and Canada, each have their own annual budget that rolls up nicely to the total budget in this region. And it continues this way. If we drill down even further, we see all the initiatives for the USA. We have our planned, committed, and actual budget rolling to the top level, both to the left across the months for each campaign, as well as up for all the campaigns in this country. In this view for Acme, we see it organized by month, or they can change it to a quarterly view. Organizations can also configure weekly and daily views if needed. This makes it very easy to maintain and track budgets and spend for each campaign across the organization. One thing to be aware of is that everything rolls up and calculates nicely since everything is in the organization's reference currency, US dollars. But what if you're in Mexico or Canada and you want to see your budget in your own currency, Mexican pesos or Canadian dollars? That is also possible by changing the view to working currency. You can easily switch to a working currency view to see the budget in your local currency. The total roll-up remains in the reference currency for the organization, US dollars. So when the numbers for each country are in their own currency, as Canada is here, Canadian dollars, this will no longer calculate properly to the total spend for the organization until the view is reverted back to the reference currency of US dollars. You also probably noticed these color-coded bars here within the budgeting view. These correlate back to the calendar view for all the initiatives in the timeline that we see here. So if we were to look at this event for the Super Bowl in the calendar view, and we wanted to see the budget for it, we can now see how the campaign correlates to the budget spend for this event. As we saw before, we have different ways that we can view these financials. Here we have target versus actual view, where we can see the top-down marketing budget for the USA is $1 million, with a current planned spend of $664,000, leaving an additional $335 to spend. Alternatively, we can look at the forecast view where, in addition to the actual and committed spend, because not all POs are fully invoiced yet, we can see the difference with the projected and remaining forecast. Now, if we have a current initiative, like this S-Fund event here, that we would like to get a budget approval for, we can go and edit the job and put in a funding request. In this case, we'll ask for $50,000. And now it will be added to this budget approval workflow. Here the budget approval looks like a simple three-step process. But as we can see, there is a more detailed process behind the scenes using our advanced workflow modeler to route the budget approval through the proper channels. At the end of this workflow, the budget approval will actually automatically be sent via connector to the outside ERP system for processing. This workflow model shows this process. Once it is processed in the ERP system, the PO will reroute back to BrandMaker for reconciliation to the marketing plan or budget. Now when we look at the planned budget for the USA, we will see that it has changed accordingly to recalculate with the additional $50,000 requested. Users can also create reports using our industry standard Tableau reporting engine, where financial data can be integrated with the marketing planner to quickly get access to necessary information when needed. Users also have full access to other reports to help with financial tasks like accrual management. The third solution in BrandMaker's portfolio is work and resource management. This is much more than just a project management application where you create a project, add tasks, and arbitrarily assign teams and due dates. Think of this as a workflow management solution. This helps the organization improve efficiency for all their workflows and manage them across both internal and external teams. You do have tasks and can assign jobs to projects, but by having it tied to a workflow process, you streamline that initiative and make it a lot more intuitive. This gives more control and visibility to working with both internal and external creative teams. Looking here at our jobs in our Kanban view, we see current initiatives organized in the 3 job types. We have, for instance, this production job, Summer Event Digital, that is currently confirmed for production. We want to move it ahead in the workflow to the production stage and then assign it to an agency group where they can go and pick it and assign it to a specific user. Now, once assigned, a user can go into a job and see all the details. They can review what has already been done and see what still needs to be completed. They can look at approved assets and see previous reviews and what has been changed or added. By clicking here, they can look back at the initial version and see all parts of the video with changes, and even see annotations that were made over here on the right-hand side of the screen. If they wanted to, they could even see side by side each of the iterations and see how they have changed. So unlike a simple project management application where you manually keep track and assign jobs when they are done, BrandMaker's workflow management takes advantage of our advanced workflow process to automatically assign and move the job to the next step in the workflow. As you see here in this advanced workflow model, once the budget has been approved, it will move on to the production workflow and follow the proper channels through to completion, content review, and go live. Resources are automatically assigned based on the predefined workflow. In the job itself, we can add tasks manually or quickly add repetitive tasks from a template. Here we have a template for production tasks. We can choose from the template's predefined tasks and add a release date for a backward planning approach. Once created, it will be added to the task manager in the proper workflow step. Managers can then assign users and even update the status of each task manually if needed. We can then go into the resources screen. This is where we can see all the tasks assigned to each user. From our example of the task we just created, you see here this approval task that I assigned to myself with the March 27th release date. A key feature in this solution is resource management. In this screen, we can see the workload for the entire team. This can be used to efficiently assign and balance tasks to increase productivity. We see the tasks in a daily view at the top, and then hourly resources for each team member on the bottom. The estimated time per task will automatically be calculated per day, and when additional resources are needed, it will recalculate to balance the hours across all team members assigned. You can easily drag and drop to adjust assignment dates, and when it intersects with a non-work day, like the weekend, it will account for this and add additional days in the calendar as necessary to get the job completed. So far, we've seen how BrandMaker can facilitate campaign planning, budgeting, and resource management. Now, let's take a look at how to manage all the assets. The fourth solution in the BrandMaker framework is our Digital Asset Management, or DAM for short. This is a central repository to manage assets in many different formats to use for their campaign creation. Acme Sports uses the customizable BrandMaker homepage to create an asset dashboard for their users to see what is new in frequently used categories and can then access them in the DAM with just a click. BrandMaker's DAM is designed around one key feature: easy access. We want users to be able to find the assets based on how they think. We provide an intuitive experience so that any user can find what they're looking for with little to no help. We do this in a couple of different ways. The first is your basic text search, where you can use exact phrases or include automatic keywords, which is our AI tagging. It will also pre-fill any typed information for a Google-like search experience. The next type of search is using folder structures. What we are doing is something very different from what you might see on a website like Target or Amazon, where you have a faceted search on the left-hand side. We take the faceted search experience and bundle it up underneath what we call widgets. It is similar, but it allows us to offer a much more efficient search experience. When I pull up this folder widget, I can do a couple of different things. I can search for my folders within this widget and even set criteria I need to match any of the folders that I select here, or even do an exclusionary search. Any metadata that is in the system can be used as a category to search on. Stored over here, you can show or hide any of the dimensions in the system. This allows us to get very powerful with the search experience. One of the other things that we've done away with that a lot of other DAMs or websites use is pagination. This is when you run a search and you've got 25 plus pages of results. The BrandMaker DAM offers infinite loading, so you can keep scrolling until you run to the end of your search results and find the asset you're looking for. It is no longer necessary to remember the page your assets are on. As I scroll down, you will see the page continues to load as one long search. And you'll notice that the user interface at the top tucks itself out of the way to give more page real estate. But if you want to access it again, all you need to do is scroll back up a bit and it will reappear. Within the system, there's a lot of different metadata or different criteria that someone might want to search for. And right now we are only seeing a small subset. There are several other search widgets that we can find over here on the right. As an admin of the system, I have access to all of these, and at any point in time I can go in and show additional widgets to search on. A non-admin user would have access to any data that they have permissions for. Now once you add widgets, if you want to save this custom search, you can do so up here. From the default view menu, you can save these search views and they can also be shared across the organization. Okay, we've searched using metadata, but what if I want to search a keyword that's not in the system? Can this be done? Absolutely. Using BrandMaker's built-in AI, we can find additional relevant assets, even if that metadata has not been assigned. This is where we would turn the AI on and off. I'm going to leave it off for a moment. Let's say I wanted to search for hiking. As you can see from our search, we have found many assets with the dimension for hiking. But what if I wanted to narrow the search to hiking in the hills? If I search for this, you now see that we only have one asset with metadata hiking in hills. But when we deploy the AI search, we get several new assets that have been found using the AI engines built right into BrandMaker. BrandMaker makes it easy to not only find assets, but to also manage and edit them as well. Keeping them organized using metadata helps teams stay organized and find the most relevant items when needed. In the DAM, users can upload many different asset types, including pictures, videos, prints, and PDF files. They can be edited individually or in a batch by selecting the assets and clicking Edit all at once. In the Edit screen, you can assign dimensions and other metadata. A standard asset type can have an overwhelming amount of data to choose from. To increase efficiency and show only relevant data, specific asset types can be used. For example, maybe these assets were created for a high-resolution CMYK print media. You can choose the image print asset type, and in the fields below will change to show only the relevant data to that asset type to choose from. Another way assets can be organized is by using versions, variants, and related assets. You can link different versions of an asset, like this logo for instance, so you can reference older versions when needed, but also conserve brand consistency by making only the most recent one available for use. Variants are different variations of the asset. In this example, we have both a 2-color and grayscale variant. And related assets is where you can link other related assets in the DAM to foster creativity. Now that we have found our assets, how do we push them out of the DAM and publish elsewhere? We can do this using BrandMaker's Fusion Publish. This is a direct way to publish relevant assets directly to outside sources like social media platforms or CMS applications. So all these different features combined really allows the DAM user to have a very flexible and powerful search experience with very little need to understand what's going on underneath. The last solution in the BrandMaker framework is brand management. This is a central platform to organize and create brand-compliant media and help organizations control how their assets are being deployed. Let's go into the Brand Template Builder and see some of what it can do. Other systems may call something like this Web to Publish. On the main screen, you can use the drop-down menus along the top, again using metadata in the system, to find relevant templates based on your desired output. Brand Template Builder offers 3 different types of templates. The first type are templates built with Adobe InDesign, so essentially print-based, but they can also be used for digital as well. You can easily adjust custom pre-chosen elements to the template. Things like document configuration, layout, and even content to customize the campaign as needed. In this example, we can choose from pre-approved content to mix and match and create a custom asset for a specific campaign. With drag and drop simplicity, a new campaign can be created in no time at all. The second template type is HTML5 based. These are very similar to the InDesign template, but can be animated, and when exported, they are output as a zip file with all the relevant HTML5 data. The third and most popular template type are called multi-channel templates. These are image-based JPEG or PNG fixed format, but output to multiple different format sizes at once for different channels like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, as well as banner ads. The size outputs are configurable in real time. Essentially, you can quickly edit and output multiple formats at once. This allows you to easily create the same message to post in multiple different locations without configuring each one individually. You can choose from different banner ad sizes or social media formats by using the clickable menu along the top. As you make changes on the left, all the different formats update in real time to see how they will look when exported. BrandMaker's Brand Template Builder gives marketers the ability to avoid non-compliance risk and confidence about how their brand assets are being applied. As you have seen, BrandMaker's 5 different solutions offer a full package and variety of options for our customers to add efficiency and increase productivity to make their MarTech experience second to none.